各位觀眾大家好，歡迎收睇26分鐘見證實錄。有調查顯示，加拿大每年最少有20萬人無家可歸，每晚最少有5萬加拿大人屬於隱性無家可歸者。咁即係佢哋冇自己嘅住所，需要到朋友或者係親人屋企借宿，而導致無家可歸嘅主要根源啦，就包括童年時期嘅經歷創傷、心理健康問題，以及濫藥危機同酒精上癮等等。咁呢啲咧一直都係本國政府着手處理嘅重點議題嚟㗎。咁近年嚟，一種以咖啡店為模式嘅非臨床性社區復康援助中心 （Recovery Cafe） 喺美國盛行，咁為經歷貧困、心理創傷、濫藥、無家可歸等嘅弱勢社群提供交流以及復康服務。咁去年嘅9月份，溫哥華地區亦都成立咗加拿大第一間嘅 Recovery Cafe 復康咖啡店，為本地有需要人士提供援助同支持，協助佢哋擺脫癖癮同創傷，走出困境。呢一間位於溫哥華嘅復康咖啡店，從去年9月正式營業以嚟，至今已經有超過70位會員。店內嘅各類服務同埋資源係吸引深陷困苦人士加入嘅動力之一。
I'd heard that they were offering, art therapy, music therapy, the recovery circles, and so, I was really excited to hear about this place. It's the first one in Canada. I hear that there's many in the U.S., but this is the first one here in Canada. So I feel really fortunate to be, right at the beginning and see it grow. And already it's helping me tremendously.
將大家聚集起嚟，分享憂愁同喜悅，揾翻佢哋嘅希望同信心，係咖啡店贊助者非牟利社區組織 Cattle Society 嘅初衷。
And a lot of people who face addiction, they may have lost that connection with society, with community. So part of our job here is to help rebuild those connections. In this field, we talk about recovery capital. And recovery, sometimes when in addiction, you lose that capital, recovery capital. And we're here to rebuild that for people.
而店內美味嘅咖啡更加係吸引唔少會員往返參與復康活動嘅動力之一。
I just decided to stop drinking, and coffee is a good alternative to that. So I came into this space, and then the people were really nice, and the coffee was really good, so I kept coming back every day.
唔少人認為消除社會對弱勢群體嘅偏見係幫助佢哋走出困境嘅主要嘅一步。
We in our society, we like to, unfortunately still point fingers at people who are struggling, and that's not helpful. And so if we change the conversation and end the stigma that surrounds addiction and mental health, we'll have a much better chance at addressing the issues. 本地居民 Catherine 採訪當日啱啱係佢嘅生日。童年不幸嘅經歷令佢身心受到極大創傷，唔願意面對現實嘅佢，最終選擇咗通過藥物尋求心靈嘅慰藉。
It's pretty much my whole life, actually. When I was 15, I had started. There was a lot of trauma in my life, losing my mom, being in a domestic abuse situation, and that was basically just to band-aid trauma and not wanting to face reality and coping.
Catherine 偶然嘅機會之下，喺一個戒毒會上睇到關於 Recovery Cafe 嘅信息，咁知道咗復康咖啡店嘅存在。咁佢仲記得第一次踏入咖啡店呢一度帶俾佢嘅印象。
I found myself here, and since then, I'm so happy that I was guided here for whatever reason, and it's just as soon as I walked in, I felt the love and the acceptance.
咁究竟復康咖啡店係一個點樣嘅地方呢？唔係 Cattle Society 工作咗14年嘅 Damian Murphy， 同時亦都係 Recovery Cafe 復康咖啡店嘅經理。咁佢就表示呢一種新型嘅社區支援模式喺美國其實已經成熟。
The model started in Seattle, and it's been growing steadily in Seattle and across the United States. Street to Home Foundation, They're a local private foundation, and they discovered it in Seattle. And they're always looking for new and innovative solutions to the issues around homelessness and addictions and poverty in Vancouver. And when they found it, they thought it would be a good model to bring to Vancouver. So Street to Home approached the Kettle Society and asked if we would be interested in working with them to open the first one in Canada.
Murphy 表示，本地針對僻人群體嘅幫助資源已經唔錯。而復康咖啡店呢啲非臨床性支援嘅不同之處，在於佢係以一個舒適嘅環境，為所需嘅人士搭建溝通橋梁，以及重返社會嘅機會。
So, I mean, there's lots of options available for people who are seeking recovery, but sometimes they're limited in what they offer, or they're time limited. For example, if someone, when they're first going into recovery, they need to detox from their addiction, and we have clinical facilities like Vancouver Detox, which do amazing work. But those are short term, so they go for 5 days, they detox from whatever substance that they're using, and then they leave the detox facility. And sometimes, people need some ongoing support. So the Recovery Cafe offers an opportunity for people to continue working on their recovery in a supportive environment, even after they may leave a clinical environment.
復康咖啡店係以會員制運作，要先前去參加每個星期嘅小組討論，成為會員，就可以隨時前嚟咖啡店享用咖啡同埋午餐。Murphy 表示，討論小組嘅意義在於將大家聚集喺一齊，分享佢哋嘅故事，共同制定復康目標，互相溝通扶持，令到佢哋知道自己唔係孤獨咁一個人喺度戰鬥。
The recovery circles are weekly. As long as a member is attending the recovery circle every week, they're free to come to the cafe any other time during the week and enjoy the coffee. And we serve a lunch every day for any members that are here. Everything is free that's here. It's facilitated by staff, and staff join in the circle as well. It's the same group of people every week. So it's 1 hour, once a week. It's about 8 to 10 people maximum. And basically we go around the table. It's like a talking circle or a sharing circle you may be familiar with. And it's an opportunity for people to share what's happening in their lives. And, we don't talk about so much the past, what happened before, how we got here. We talk about what's happening today. We really want to focus on the present moment. And we invite people to share what's going on with their recovery. What are some challenges or struggles that they're having? But we also ask people or invite people to share the good things that are happening, some successes or some gratitude that's going on in their lives. And we invite our members to share an intention for the coming week. And then the following week, you meet again with the same group of people, and we hold each other accountable in a loving way to our intentions and our goals. How did you do on your goal last week? Did you make your goal? That's great.
Damian Murphy 表示，對於經歷住心理陰霾同僻人嘅群體，傾訴同埋溝通係康復嘅必要過程。
The root of addiction often comes from trauma. Studies have confirmed that. We know that for a fact. And, that trauma is ongoing. So, people may be using drugs or alcohol to help with that trauma, to ease the pain of that trauma. When they stop using, sometimes that trauma can surface again. So the same with homelessness. When people are homeless, they're living out on the streets, it's survival, day-to-day living. People get an opportunity to come inside and, be safe and have a safe place. That's when these traumas can rise to the surface because they're not in that survival mode. They have time to think, reflect, and think about their lives. So, when these things happen, it's very challenging if you're alone or isolated. So this cafe offers an opportunity for people to have community.
Catherine 幾乎每個星期都參與小組分享會，佢表示咁樣嘅經歷逐漸改變咗佢。
Being receiving of the love and the support that I receive here from the management and the other members as well, the connection and community building. They say pain shared is pain lessened. So, when you come from a place where I'm coming from, it's nice to have the support and understanding of other people that have been there. And, I don't need to, I can begin anew each day. Change is possible.
When you talk and share your struggles with others, it's like you're it's like you're taking a weight off of your shoulder and you're passing it on to other people. You're sharing that weight. So then it becomes less of a burden for yourself. And in that way, we can heal.
Murphy 表示，對於有癖癮同心理健康問題嘅人，將佢哋嘅生活安排充實，咁俾佢哋保持忙碌，係十分有效走出陰霾嘅方式。因此，復康咖啡店有各種各樣嘅活動，提供俾會員免費參加。
When people are in recovery, especially when they're new to recovery, so they've just gone through a detox, and it's really important to stay busy. So we want to offer our members opportunities to do things. So some of the programs that we offer, a lot of them are social programs. So we have like a creative writing group. We have an art therapy student who's here in this art room now Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons who's doing some artwork. These kinds of creative outlets are important to, they're part of healing, expressing ourselves creatively and through art, but it's also to keep ourselves busy, keep your hands busy and to be doing things.
Catherine 平日特別積極熱衷咁參與店內嘅活動。
They're starting the art therapy class, which I attended, and they have creative writing class. And I joined the choir, which is a lifelong goal for myself. I love singing, and to have that offered. The teacher, Sarah, she's actually a trained singer, a vocalist, and it's free music lessons. Really, I'm learning so much, and we have concerts and things like that out in the public, and I never dreamed that I'd be part of a choir.
好多會員嘅共同目標都係喺未來走出癖癮等困境之後，能夠獲得一份穩定嘅工作。咁咖啡店亦都會為會員提供免費嘅培訓項目，訓練佢哋新嘅技能，同時幫助佢哋重拾自信，揾返對未來嘅希望。
We offer Barista Training, so we are, for those members who are interested, we're teaching our members how to make cappuccinos and lattes, which is a fun thing to do together, but it's also a skill that they can take with them into the future. So, if people wanted to get some work in a coffee shop or something like that, they would have those skills. And we had one member who has been at the Barista Training program from the beginning, and she's never made a cappuccino before. She didn't know how to use that machine. And she attended 10 weeks of training, and we gave her a certificate. She looked so proud when we gave her the certificate for completing 10 weeks of training. It was really nice to see.
Murphy 表示，現時咖啡店正係計劃增加烹飪培訓課程，為感興趣嘅會員教授更多方面嘅技能，加強佢哋生活嘅目標感。下一節返嚟，我哋會透過其他咖啡店嘅會員了解佢哋嘅經歷，以及本地一位已經成功走出困境嘅人士，對於呢一個全新嘅社區支援模式又有啲乜嘢嘅評價？歡迎返嚟節目時間。對於一位有住20年酗酒經歷嘅會員嚟講啊，到底復康咖啡店帶俾佢點樣嘅體驗，為佢嘅生活帶嚟咗邊一啲嘅變化呢？而一名6次從毒品過量之中搶救過嚟，後來成功走出陰霾嘅康復者，咁更加成為咗本地嘅心理健康同減少傷害倡導員。佢對於呢一種新嘅援助模式又有邊一啲嘅睇法呢？
I was drinking for most of my life, adult life for sure, and it's been like 21 days now since I've stopped drinking, so this is a nice place to come and do something else.
Ethan 從青少年起就深陷抑鬱症困擾，自此之後，佢選擇以酒精麻醉自己。
I had some older friends growing up, so it might have been just like where I was growing up, and then I had a friend pass away when I was 16, my friend Tyler Charles Allen. So I guess I started dealing with depression in that way. And then it wasn't till maybe a little later in life again where just similar occurrences of, I guess, dealing with loss was a way to cope. And then as time goes on, you don't really acknowledge the addiction, but then you look back and it's been a while, and then and then it is sort of difficult to stop drinking, which is what I've come to realize. So that's it's like a realization, I suppose, that doesn't happen right away, but then you're like, oh, okay, there isn't a little bit of an issue. It's like not just casual, healthy drinking during the week. It was like a little bit more. So.
現時 Ethan 已經有近20年嘅酗酒經歷，咁同 Catherine 一樣，中意飲咖啡嘅佢，亦都喺一次非常偶然嘅機會，了解到 Recovery Cafe 復康咖啡店，咁之後就成為咗呢一度嘅會員。咁現時佢每日都會嚟到咖啡店，同店員同埋其他會員傾偈。
I was at the Carnegie, which is like a center downtown for cheap meals, and I was looking at the board for resources, and this was one that was labeled and it said you can come get free coffee, and I was like, yes please, because coffee is quite expensive in this city, and I just decided to stop drinking, and coffee is a good like alternative to that. So I came into this space, and then the people were really nice and the coffee was really good, so I kept coming back every day.
Ethan 亦都風趣咁表示，自從佢加入咗復康咖啡店成為會員之後，咁佢就從酒精上癮變成咗咖啡上癮。咁但係佢十分滿意現時嘅生活。咁除咗咖啡之外，店內嘅各種免費活動亦吸引住佢繼續往返咖啡店。
The people here are also really nice, and it just seemed to be like a good place to get some social activities going on to distract or just stay busy during the day, because certainly do free up a lot of time when you're not drinking anymore.
Ethan 有進行過藝術同音樂治療，亦都有參與過咖啡師培訓。對於呢啲經驗，都令佢感到十分欣慰。而每個星期一次嘅小組分享會議，更加係令佢喺戒酒嘅道路上獲得好多人嘅支持同鼓勵。
Because I think they are important for people to have a sense of community when they're trying to change their old habits. So this just feels like a little bit less pressure, and like the only stipulation, I guess, is that you're sober for a day before you come, which is kind of like a little bit of encouragement, I suppose, because then otherwise I'd lose my latte tomorrow. and it's kind of nice to have somebody ask if you're still sober, and then like be like a little bit of a celebratory, like yay, and then like yeah, so it's a good vibe, I guess, like that.
復康咖啡店嘅存在令到佢對於生活開始充滿希望。而對於未來，亦都有住自己最樸實嘅打算。
I've certainly saved a lot of money that I don't have, so that's cool. And just the thought of the future seems a lot more potential if I continue this. So that's really a positive notion in my life these days. So that's cool. Definitely just like community involvement and like having a place to live, which is great, and taking care of my cat, and just like the self-sustainability aspect of life, which would be great, and then obviously the participation in society afterwards that. So yeah, there's some more hope now that spending less money and stuff and time.
去年我哋曾經採訪過素里呢一間舒適嘅城市屋主人 Guy Felicilla， 佢係卑斯濫藥支援中心夥伴臨床顧問。佢有一個幸福美滿嘅家庭，咁好難想像佢亦都曾經有過一段不見天日嘅過去。
Yeah, I couldn't imagine my life. You know, like 9 years ago, I was injecting drugs in a back alley in the downtown east side, and here we are 9 years later. I'm, you know, married with a beautiful family, and you know, it shows that people do recover.
介第一次使用非法藥物係喺12歲，而第一次用藥同酒精等就係喺8歲嘅時候。不幸嘅童年係佢染上毒癮嘅誘因。
I often describe my childhood as, you know, cloudy, you know, with a chance of thunder or lightning. It was an unpredictable environment, meaning that I just didn't know when somebody was going to, you know, be upset or, and so when those things are going through a young person's mind of that unpredictable nature, it's very, you know, I describe it as kind of like, you know, a soldier navigating a landmine field. You just don't know when the bomb's going to go off, but you know it's going to eventually.
Guy 由1983年開始使用毒品，直至2013年，當時已經使用藥物30年。30年間，佢接受過超過15次嘅戒毒療程，但最終都係因為唔同嘅原因而停止。但係喺2013年，Guy就迎嚟咗佢人生嘅轉捩點。
Defining moment was definitely February 18th, 2013, when I overdosed the last time at the supervised consumption site. And it took a long time to revive me. And when I woke up, the nurse who was working on me was on the floor next to me, crying. And I just remember saying, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "Because I care." And then at that moment, I started to break down and cry. And I knew, I just told her, I said, I can't keep doing this. Because that was my 6th overdose in like 9 months.
自此之後，Guy一直以一個倡導者同輔導員嘅身份，幫助嗰啲同佢有相同經歷嘅人，希望通過自己嘅經歷同經驗感染其他人。而佢喺呢一間加拿大第一間復康咖啡店初創階段嘅時候，亦都參與過實施嘅過程。佢同嗰度嘅工作人員、管理人員以及唔少嘅會員都非常熟絡。現時復康咖啡店已經運作就快半年啦。佢覺得有時候一個好嘅結果可以係源自一杯咖啡、一份三文治或者一次有意義嘅談話。
I mean, you know, one of the things that people feel comfortable about is that part where it's human connection and they build relationships with people who are, you know, seeking support and help. And so those coffee and conversations are probably, you know, one of the most vital things in opening up and sharing parts of your story, or having somebody share their own experience with you, which helps you feel that you're not alone, because obviously addiction is very isolating and you do feel alone. But when you're have those conversations, open and honest, it gives you the ability to reach out and feel that people are trying to support you, which can change the direction of people's lives.
身為僻癮康復者嘅佢，認為本國復康咖啡店嘅存在十分有必要。
You know, I remember in my own life that I needed a lot of support to get to where I was. And without that support, I can guarantee you I wouldn't be where I am today. And so it's really fantastic to see a place like that open in Vancouver. And now hopefully what we can do is replicate this in every community so that people, you know, in Richmond or West Van or North Van, you know, can have access a place, a facility, not that's outpatient, not inpatient, because I think outpatient is just as important for people to go to as inpatient.
對於有意改變自己現時生活嘅人，Guy亦都俾出自己嘅建議同鼓勵。
You know, going to even check out the Recovery Cafe, you know, the first step is always the hardest. But after the first step, the steps do get easier. And, you know, I just encourage people that if you are struggling, you know, give it a try. You know, and celebrate that you are trying and making steps to achieve, you know, better health and wellness in your life. And so, yeah, you know, I would say that, you know, give it a shot, because, you know, things don't change until we change them.
至於復康咖啡店經理 Damian Murphy 就話，眼見復康咖啡店真正能夠幫助到有需要嘅人，佢同樣希望呢一個模式能夠繼續喺加國發展落去。
I'm really hopeful that this model will be successful, and that other communities will see that it's working and will want to bring it to their communities. You know, each community looks different. Vancouver is Vancouver, but it would be wonderful if other communities, I'm thinking maybe up north in British Columbia, like in, I don't know, like Prince Rupert or Prince George, somewhere like that, where there's not a lot of services. I think it'd be really beneficial for those communities if this model of the Recovery Cafe opened in those communities.
好啦，今集嘅節目時間就差唔多啦。咁如果觀眾對我哋嘅節目有啲乜嘢意見嘅話，係好歡迎大家以電郵嘅方式同我哋聯絡㗎。我哋嘅電郵地址係 mag26@fairchildtv.com。如果觀眾想上網重溫翻今集嘅節目，亦都可以上到去我哋嘅網站3W.fairchildtv.com，點擊節目重溫一欄就可以睇得翻㗎啦。 下星期同樣時間再同大家見面，晚安。